Hello and welcome, educators. This is a video to help you navigate your Wonders sample box. My name is Brandon Harvey, National Literacy Specialist with McGraw-Hill Education. So let's get started taking a look at your Wonders samples for grades 2 through 5. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get my sample box, it's closed up like this. I'm just going to take the lid, pop it down. The top lid comes up and goes right into the box. One of the things to know is that Wonders is built for that 21st century learning classroom. So not only can you evaluate and review all of your print materials, but you'll also see right here on the lip a little tearaway sheet so that you can explore the digital resources. By going to this website, you will be able to explore all of the online tools, all of the units of study. There's a lot of great things to learn there, such as ready-made presentations, data reports, and of course the exploration of not only the digital version of all of these print samples, but there's even more online. So now let's start exploring the materials that are in your Wonders sample box. The first thing you're going to see right here, it says, "Welcome to Wonders, start your review here." This is a wonderful guide that you can lay out and really gives you a little bit more detail about the tools for the student, for your classroom, and of course tools for you, the teacher. It also again reminds you on how to try the digital, and if you're interested in learning more, there's some online tools to use. You'll also find right in the front of every sample box, I'm using grade 3 today, is my grade 3 scope and sequence. This of course is online in a PDF format, and of course all of the scope and sequences for each grade level are also found in the back of each teacher edition. You'll find that the box is organized really into two sides. You have all of your student resources and tools on the left. Over here on the right, you'll see all of your teacher resources and teaching tools as well. So let's start with our student side. So the first thing you're going to see right here is our brand new Reading Writing Companion. This is an interactive, consumable student edition. As you're turning through the pages, you'll see that this is not a workbook, but rather a journal or an interactive notebook so that I can collaborate with my peers, but also I can interact with the teacher as a student. I'm reading with a pencil. You'll find all sorts of wonderful tools here to root instruction in listening and speaking, and I'm engaging, not being a passive learner, but really engaging with the learning. You'll see all of your shared reads right here in your Reading Writing Companion with instruction around a close reading routine as I read, reread for author's craft, and integrate DOK level 4 type integration of making text-to-text connections, being inspired, doing research and inquiry. This is also a tool for my writer's workshop, because if we read about it, we write about it. And so here you'll find those mini lessons as you work through the writing process, all again anchored not only in genre, but also anchored in mentor texts as well. So again, I love the fact that I have rubrics in here, I have graphic organizers, I have tools to really engage with my learners. Now, the next thing we're going to see over here on the student side is of course the literature. Wonders is filled with authentic literature, and one of the tools are our classroom library trade books. This flyer lists all 24 titles for each grade. Again, as I said earlier, I'm using grade 3 here. You'll also see a sample of the lesson plans that support these classroom library trade books. These are a great tool to use for independent reading. Maybe you just want an additional read aloud, or book clubs, student-led novel studies, or literature circles. Speaking of literature, you'll also find our collection of literature that also supports instruction right here. This contains 30 authentic pieces of text, each one with a paired selection. This also houses additional reads for independent reading. So rather than having 25, 30 individual trade books, we just simply put a cover around it so it's manageable and easy to use for you and your students. All of these tools, of course, are accessible online for you and your students with full audio support. Now, the last thing over here on my student side are tools for my small group guided reading lessons. When I open this up, you'll see some samples of our leveled readers. You'll also notice that all of the leveled readers are accessible online. So not only do I see 120 different titles here in grades 2 through 5, you'll also see a wide range of Fountas and Pinnell levels. We've sampled several of those right here for you. And when you flip them over to the back, you'll see that each leveled text has a Fontes Pinnell guided reading level, a DRA benchmark level, and those new updated Lexile levels. I also like the fact that I'm getting a sample of both fiction and nonfiction leveled text. To support the instruction at the guided reading table, you'll find your leveled reader lesson cards. These leveled reader lesson cards really help to reimagine what can happen at the guided reading table. You'll find supports based on authors Dr. Doug Fisher and Dr. Timothy Shanahan's ACT, or Access Complex Text. So we're identifying the qualitative nature that makes this leveled text complex. You'll also see, as we guide students through the text, a close reading routine to read and reread, and those ACT access points. And I always like to say, if we read about it, we write about it. Even with our leveled readers, you'll find the ability to write analytically or respond to those leveled texts. By the way, when you're exploring your leveled readers, I encourage you to not only take a look at the great text, but you'll see information on skills and strategies on the inside, but also literature circle activities. So if you want to have some student-led discussions with those leveled books, you can do that as well. So I'm going to put all of my student materials back in the box. I've got my leveled text. I have my collection of authentic literature, as well as my leveled reader trade books. And then, of course, really the heart of my literacy classroom, that reading, writing companion, so that we as classmates, as a community of learners, are collaborating. So now let's explore the right-hand side of the box here from my grade 3 sample, and we're going to start with that teacher edition. Now, one of the things that makes Wonders so unique for grades 2 through 5 is that it's organized into connected genre text sets. We're teaching those genre text sets through a 2-week genre study. That's right, a 10-day lesson plan, really allowing you and your students time to read that rich, authentic literature and reread and do a close reading. Also, I think what sets the Wonders Teacher Edition and instruction apart is that we're not just teaching reading, writing, listening, speaking, and thinking, but when I open up to the very front, you'll see that we're addressing social emotional learning. So here, I'm looking at my grade 3, unit 3 teacher edition, and the social emotional capacities here are curiosity, flexible thinking, and logic and reasoning. And each one of those is tied specifically to the literature and the essential questions that are happening within each of the 3 genre text set studies. So again, take a moment to look at that. That's a Wonders difference. As you explore the rich instruction built in here, not only for reading workshop, you'll find all of your mini lessons, conferencing routines, and rubrics for writing workshop, but also the unparalleled English language learner supports through multiple language acquisition levels, both for whole group and small group, even addressing newcomers. You'll find differentiated instruction for small group, including embedded Tier 2 instruction and gifted and talented. So that's really where you're going to see the Wonders difference, is taking a moment to look at the organization, but also taking a look at the depth of instruction that we provide. Now, let's look at some of the other support pieces I have here. Because this is a sample here, I've got my grade 3 practice book, but this is supporting that Unit 3 Genre Study 1. If you want to see the whole practice book, you can log online. You'll also see some unit level and some genre study assessment samples. If I want to see all of the assessments, I can go online, including diagnostic placement assessments, running records. But here, I've got my progress monitoring, my unit, and benchmark. And the great thing is that all of our assessments have those fresh or cold reads. Now, I love this folder because here's really many of the hands-on tools that you'll find. Things such as visual vocabulary cards, workstation activity cards. So if you like to do daily 5 or have collaborative workstations, you have that. Even interactive read aloud cards at grade 2 and sound spelling cards. So you'll see, again, depending on your grade level, you'll see some unique tools built right in. And then finally, in the back of my box for my teacher support, you'll find things like a resource overview, research efficacy and evidence, because you want to make sure you're choosing a program that we know works, as well as, again, support for my English language learners. But we also recognize at McGraw-Hill that every classroom is different and every teacher is different. And that's why we've created something known as Teach It Your Way. Teach It Your Way is embedded into my teacher instruction so that I can differentiate whether I want to teach whole group or maybe I want to do my phonics lesson at the small group table through word study. But also, as you're planning your lessons, we have Teach It Your Way templates. Here's a sample of one for my mini lessons, small group, and independent reading time. These could also be customized to your individual district. Once I put and customize my lesson plans, it slides right in here to this clear plastic sleeve, and this snaps into my teacher's edition so that I am truly using the Wonders resources to teach my way. But we also want you to make it your way. So you'll find a handy little envelope. And what this is showing you or talking about is the fact that we know that many teachers, many schools have these really cool die cut machines, or some of them are known as a Silhouette or a Cricut machine. And so we've provided Silhouette and Cricut die cut files so that you can make it your way, such as for bulletin boards. I love this one. This is for labels for my guided reading book bins, or even storage solutions. You've got storage boxes for your leveled readers, or I love this one for all of my weekly resources, such as those visual vocabulary cards and workstation cards. The size of the holes fits the size of the Wonders resource cards. So I think that's really special to not only be able to teach Wonders your way, but you can make it happen your way as well. So I'm going to put all of these resources back into the right-hand side of my box. And I just want to encourage you, once again, to not only take a look at all of the tools that we've provided here for you and for your students. You'll see the wealth and rich, beautiful literature, all organized through those 2-week genre text sets. And don't forget, of course, to truly evaluate Wonders, you want to log on. You want to go explore the digital resources that we have available for you. Thanks so much for taking time out of your valuable day to watch this video, but also to explore your print and digital resources for Wonders. We know that this will be the right tool and the right resource for you and your students. Thanks a lot and have a great day.